Well, thanks for having me. You know, Keith's comments remind me of something that happened early in my campaign. Right after I announced I was running, I got a call from Tom, one of the dads in the Cub Scout band that I led. And Tom said, you know, I consider myself a Democrat, but I'd like to help you. I thought, well, that's pretty good. So I took him to lunch and asked him for his perspective. And what Tom told me was when he immigrated to America and to Minnesota from Vietnam, he showed up here with nothing but the shirt on his back. And he needed help, and his family needed help. And the only ones that he saw helping him at the time were Democrats. And so he thought of himself from that point forward as a Democrat. But he said today he faces different challenges. He owns a nail salon. He's losing business. He says his customers are leaving because a number of them are going elsewhere for 6 months and a day. And that's harming his business, and it's harming his livelihood and his family's livelihood. He drives 45 minutes each way so his kids can go to Orono public schools because the public schools where he lives are lousy. And so he said, you know, ultimately I heard what you're about, how you're focused on making the state better for everyone, how you're focused on improving the environment for jobs and the economy, how you're focused on education. Those are things I believe in, and I want to help you. I'm proud to have Tom's support.
Right.
But perhaps even more important is I'm encouraged by the fact that my message is resonating with him. If we can get more Minnesotans like Tom with his kind of background to think that our principles are going to help them and their families and their lives, we will win this election. I think it's great that Tom's had the chance to live the American dream here in Minnesota. I feel like I've had that same chance. When I was born in Fridley, my family lived in a trailer park. I grew up in Mound, but when I was in high school, my dad lost his job and he lost his pension. That created a challenge for our family, but we got through it. At the same time, I became an Eagle Scout and worked a number of minimum wage jobs to put myself through college, including having a job shoveling horse manure at 5:30 every morning. That's a skill I think I'll find useful in St. Paul. And I went on to have a career in business that allowed me to create financial security for my family. I created a company together with my brother Kirk, who's sitting up here in the front, in 1999, a company that is now the largest property rental payments company in the country with over 150 employees. Over the last decade, I built a firm that bought and fixed 60 companies and created over $1 billion of gains for state employee pensioners and endowments. I met Jamie in LA, as Chris said, and as we found that we had common roots in Minnesota, Minnesota was tugging back at us, and we got married at St. Mark's Cathedral just around the corner here in 1994. And as we had our children, our kids are 12, 10, and 6, we thought, you know, we should have them grow up in the same sort of wonderful environment in which we grew up. By the way, I'd encourage you all to get to know Jamie. She's back here at the back of the room. Wave your hand, honey. I think she'd make an excellent first lady, and she's definitely a better half, so I'd encourage you to get to know her. And Jamie and I really sat down and evaluated the state as we see it today, and we're concerned about the opportunity that our kids are going to have and the challenges that they'll face, and that we see today's Minnesota as not necessarily providing the same kind of opportunities that we had, that Tom and his family had in building a business in the state. And so I'm looking to apply the skills I developed in business to create a vision for our state that has us achieving our full potential.